Ani Bajo, everyone. It's nice to see you. It's Victoria here from the Bagida'waad Alliance. We're back for another week of talking about in Anishinaabemowin and learning more of the language. I'm excited tonight because we're going to be talking about insects. I was fascinated today. We went for a hike. Natasha and I and Chris went with Roger's television crew. And we went for a walk in the Alvar, and we also went on the boardwalk at Cape Crooker Park, and we saw a lot of insects. So I'm looking forward to hearing what all the names of those should be. So, G. McWedge, for choosing such a good topic for me tonight. I appreciate it, and I hope that everybody has fun. Okay, over to you, Ron.
Okay, bonjour. Mascot magazine doesn't come Mokondor, no piece of insurance going to Jabba, no pen diam. Some got some breed cake, no penny Jabba, we can diam, pitch wishing. Nangoni with the bus moment, little shock. My penny, little shish. Mother, what's happening? Stop.
Okay, the raspberry moon, which is July. Oh, first I should say who I am. Ani Bujo, Wasaya Vidishnakas, my Dodem. So I'm going to start with the introductions of the raspberry moon, which is July. And then sometimes they said there's a 8th moon. Depends on when it happens, at what time of the year, right? Sometimes it happens this month. Raspberry moon, and then there's the Tagagomen. Yeah. Blackberry. So today is Nijo Gizgat, the second day of the week. Noxic, 8 p.m. So, is that as far as you wanted me to go?
Next 2 months. Or Lori can do that.
Bonjour. I'm the laptop twirler tonight.
Good job to have.
So Anish Eshgishgak. And then we in the Kandan. Anish Eshgishgak. What day is it? Yeah. Nijo Gishgat. Nijo Gishgat Nongawa. Okay. Anish Eshgishgak. Oh, that's the same thing. What day is it today? Anish Eshgishgak. Anish Eshgishgak Nonga. So it's the same thing. What is the day today? Yep. Nijo Gishgat Nonga. All right. So who's going to do days of the week?
I can
see it. Can you go Shgishgak Kagana? Can you go eyes? Okay.
Everybody take one.
This the man. Yeah. Which is after Sunday. After Sunday is Shkwaname. Okay. Yeah.
Neil Gishgat Tuesday. Should be like in book. Nijo Gishgat. Oh, up to Sigishgat. Wednesday. Halfway through the week. Hump day they call it.
Is that saying it right? Neil?
Yep.
It's Thursday. Friday. No.
Yes. The bagay is that.
Namugisagat. It is Friday.
There we are again. Bagida'waad. It is Saturday. Sunday. Yeah. It's the prayer day. Name Gisgat.
Nog get off the snap nog days of the week. This is the one that we chose tonight to use. Now, what's wrong? Little shook. I'll do the first two of this. We'll do two each.
Oh.
Firefly. What
this?
she? Yeah. That's that firefly, the one that lights up, flashes. They only come out the flash to mate. That's it, and they die. Oh. That one is OG. OG fly. Yeah. OG. Oh,
Horsefly.
Yeah.
Ooh, cicada. Tashwashin.
how much she? Yeah.
But
The word means the one that thinks.
Yes.
Now, there's a story we're gonna do on that one. What's that story?
Do you want to do this?
We're gonna do the,
That's what I was just gonna say that my mom used to say, oh, it just get yeah.
There's a short little story then about the cicada. How she? Cicadas usually appear around the Great Lakes area in August. I heard an Ojibwe story for sharing. Nanabajo is a common character in our Ojibwe history. He was one of the first human-like beings Creator had made. So this story is about Cicada and Nanabajo. From the beginning of time, children resisted eating vegetables and fruits. Cabbages and peas were such a disagreeable and unappetizing green. To persuade children to eat vegetables and fruits, Nanabajo stumbled on the idea of dyeing them hundreds of shades to confer beauty and flavor on them. But before he was half done with this enormous task, an enemy came along during the night and stained everything with a film of fine gold and white dust. Nanabajo was forced to start over, not once, but many times before he learned who his enemy was. From the beginning, he suspected it was his brother, Pukwis. But it wasn't until he heard derisive laughter, muted in disguise though it was, that he was sure. Finally, unable or unwilling to put up with the despoilation of his work by frost or snow, even if it was done in jest, Nanabajo caught a cicada and put it to work, painting the fruit and vegetables so he could devote his time and energy to pursuing the enemy. The cicada took up the assignment readily. However, because Nanabajo's instructions were rather vague, the cicada painted everything, including the grass and leaves. Nanabajo was so preoccupied with overtaking his mischievous brother Pukwis that he forgot about the cicada. To this day, Disawashin or Tuskawashin can be heard on hot days, sometimes as early as mid-July, starting the duties that Nanabajo assigned him, painting the land to usher in the autumn.
That's when you hear that's the change in the weather. It's gonna winter pretty soon, like more fall coming.
Change of all the colors.
Oh, geez, that was a real long one too. Dragonfly is Abodashquanashi. Abodashquanashi.
And mine is the butterfly. Meaning glass.
Wood duck, wood tick.
Magoshishi.
The wooden duck. Where am I? What duck?
Wood tick.
Ziga. Ziga?
Cigar, I guess. Eh?
Ziga.
That's the
Oh, this is not man, the ladybug. Open Apichinash. How should you pronounce that for me?
Nim Pani Nidosh.
Nimnadosh.
Nimnadosh. Yeah.
Wow.
Must be something to do with the potatoes.
Yeah.
Never.
Nabogany.
The bug. I thought it was nuggies. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
So that's
Nuggies.
what we say here, eh?
Yeah. Nuggies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what? The bug?
Nabogany. Nabogany.
Yeah. Oh, the bug. Yeah. The bug.
Nidos.
Oh.
Bogany, Nidos. Yeah.
So a bug, an insect, a worm, or a germ is a nidos. Menidos. That's a spirit, eh?
Yeah, Nidos.
Nidos.
Because they're small and they fly around.
Yeah.
Or we call it Nidos.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, where are we here? Ant, and going. And going. Oh, but they're strong. Grubworm.
Grubworm.
They're in the
Oh,
garden.
yeah. The skunks like those guys.
All right, I got this one.
Grubworm. I can see that. Oh, grubworm.
Moose.
No.
There's a moose.
Mosquito is Esbekan. Spider. Esbekan.
Mhm. Oh, rattle.
This.
Shishi grab.
Shishi grab. Shishi grab.
She grab.
Rattlesnake.
That was she grab was what do you call them? Brown milk snake. She grab.
Oh, okay.
That's a she grab. Okay.
Little different.
Little bit different, yeah.
And this for sequence?
Shishi grab.
Shishi grab. Okay.
The shishi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like our shakers.
Yeah.
Shishiba.
Oh,
Gnabic, is it? Snake.
A general snake is a cannabis. All right.
That rattles, I mean, that cicada story. Give me that thing called translate. Then before we know the mama. Was that Nana Bujo and his brother again?
Yeah. Okay. I used to hear that word a long time ago. And I used to know what it meant. I didn't know that was
The brother?
The brother.
When you see those whirlwinds in the
winter time.
February or March, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, with them chasing each other around.
You said Nen Bushneer, that first storm that comes, it'll close the roads down and all that, all 3 days. Then Pocus will come along about 4 days after. You'll close the roads down for about 7 days, I think.
I'll even do it better.
Yeah.
Do it better, yeah. Mandani and Janet, I'll say I was looking at the story about that now. Cicada. Mabani, Tapashi. Mupio ni Chigaming, Hoya Niki. Mupio ni Tagagaman moon, Jesus. Bit of question. North Korea go near, but the Mogas in Stiget Mobile. I was now basic now, Schnabe, the Kita Bottomon. Oh, Nick, I should cause it mobile. Oh, near Ganjamat tongue, no giak. Up to now, he's not talk. I will meet witness silk monday, medium, the garden. I think he's not talk. I can hear more pound of peas. It's not talk. Mister. Bagida'waad. I wish this joke. The Benoji Macoino. He wished to go, who's not, 20.
You.
Cabbage.
Good luck.
Miss Money and Enberso. Kibia. Ni, Giku, ni. Quando up man, mother, ni. Nerosh. And what wash to get. Ni, can I go with this son? What can I go? Some non thing with the young good pudding. Is up to now, gives nugget Mondawa, quit Ecuador. We should have basic near Pitkin book. One penny, Pit Sabon book, your home spoon. That do. And Gazawa, Compagin, Sabon and good kitchen. Bob's come with a quicker. Miss Enberso. Ah, he's not to me now. Miss Abdek me. Don't go. Mambani, the enemy. Miss Seminar, he thought me, Piano and them. Now, Pocoskin, now, man. Now, don't in the young king. Ah, Mister, the old was again on Papa to them, only Pocos. Michelle, Ginam, woman, the stigia, I missed to get you. Miss Simon Peel. The norm the lunch, Gistigia, Moppy. When I can again the Moppy. Miss Small, more basic me. Kikwen Mop Mobile. Tatawashi. You don't piss the Kanayang of Tatawashi. Just Kamashi. No. Me the show. He quit him up. We go with Benjamin was chicken mop. Or they going to get taken. Joe this month. Or they go she not going to cut the swap here. Aha. What's to get away on the bucket of your Tatawashi? Oh. Now, to me, the Gimin Garcia, what's to get? Miss Soda bombs on the way. Back to this again. Oh, can we get Libishan get the sun? Yagoda. Mishpan to eat the sun. The Russia kill this one. Can you going to get taken? This is. Miss Mom, now, Jimmy, give me a Simo. Watch to get the two thing. You get a moment and then bush. Mr. Leonie, quiet mouth, shooting book. You get on to the buyer, practice get with the scum cases. Yeah, up to him, nanking. Never. Oh, it is there. As we are can't put we bit can but book me watch a can me stop the mong the car the on it. You got to get more than the commercial, the skirmish. That's it's not a version of what Janet talked.
Mhm.
The skirmish.
Diskewashi.
Yeah, the skirmish.
Got to skip. Mhm.
Same thing as when you need it. The commercial is the kind of study. Je don't know. What is it? The pitch and go down to meet me and you should go to know. What you should go to know.
The wildfires in the States, is it California somewhere? It was in the news. Because they burrow for a while. They stay underground for years. And then they come up. I guess there's an ancient grove of cicadas over there. And they're being threatened because there's wildfires that are coming.
Well, that now the torsion near goes near not comic more by 17 years.
17.
Some just said, number of participants.
Mm-hmm.
go next door, the doors. You take on gives it me. We wouldn't water the
That's the feed.
fertilizer.
Fertilizer.
For the tree, but when he dies, it's okay. Anyway, it's half an hour shot. Is there any questions out there? Anybody? There's only 3. That's us guys.
Tina and Lindsay from are here online as well watching, but they haven't put up their hand to be able to ask a question. I don't know if they have any, but I'll put on that they're allowed to talk if they do.
Tina.
So, is that how you write? Hi.
Honey.
Honey,
We can hear you.
You can?
Tina and Lindsay, we can hear you.
Honey, yes, I am.
We haven't been around for a few weeks. We've been building our wigwam agwajing. Our cabin. I don't know how to say cabin in
Cabin in the bush.
We go a mess, I guess, eh?
Mhm.
A little house, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be
Way off in the bush.
I'll be sure to take off.
And Temagami.
Oh, Temagami.
The
Twice.
A spiritual camp.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have our ceremonies out there.
Oh. Michelle.
Oh.
We're gonna pray that the black fires and mosquitoes don't eat us.
Yeah.
That's priority here.
How would you say black?
Oh,
Oh yeah, black.
No.
How do you say it?
what's that? Makdeuchi?
Magdeoji, yeah. OGs, because they're little, eh?
Oh, geez, okay.
Oh geez.
No, OGs. OGs.
Oh geez, that's what we say. Oh geez, not again.
Oh.
Este bed up here, not gorgeous.
Kau kujis magitas no.
Well, they got a famous chief by that name, but they pronounce it different, eh?
Is it?
Oh, cheese.
Oh, kujis.
Yeah, because over here it says Nidosh,
Mhm.
not Fuji's.
Yeah.
Mhm. Kujish bandwama.
Yeah. Used to be,
Black flies are open now.
I think
Supposed to
so.
be mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Like the
Oji.
Look at that. Oh, gee.
Look at it.
Nail.
Make the ojis.
Yeah. Today, come on, eh? Mm-hmm. Pshedenguk. Well, yeah.
And then when they're born,
Is it-
it's the creek that's running, that's flowing, that's where they lay their eggs.
Okay,
It's gonna check this, when it's really still,
yeah.
that's where they lay their eggs.
Oh.
That's why they say get rid of any water around the place, tires, swings. To dump those out, because that's where they'll hatch.
Oh.
Mm.
So we gotta
We
let 'em
can't
stay.
hear Rennie.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, it like the laptop has to face someone for the audio to be able to hear you. Just so you know. Make question.
The mosquitoes, when they're the eggs are being hatched, it has to be still water. So that's why they recommend that you empty the water tires, any pails that you have outside, so they're not being born. For black flies, it's running water. That's where they'll lay their eggs. So I think they're pretty well over right now. It's mosquitoes that are coming in. Yeah.
Ja. Anishinaabemowin kan met gimme. Kijk ernaar. Wie gedaan? Gimme. Wat is gaat worden? Sorry. Gimme, die zijn kategorie. Het. Als ik al. Anishinaabemowin kan jo gimme.
But that mom stop doing the ball he said, it takes off again.
Oh, huh? Oh, chaos is shit.
Ik heb hem gekeken. Je hebt een heel weekend.
Someone said something about potato, but that ladybug, the ladybug,
The ladybug.
Anishinaabemowin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would be the potato.
it used to be our job when we were children. It used to be our job when we were children to go and get the bugs off the potato plant. And there was some stuff in there. You couldn't put your hands on it because it get burnt. I think it was turpentine or something like that. You throw those bugs in. Because I don't know why. It's because I guess if they just shoot them off the side, they just come back and climb back on the plant. I don't know.
Your job is to go out with that ladybug. Penny, which one? Penny in the dose, one getting on the kuzi, yeah. So they don't, what I'm saying is when that ladybug is going around eating the other bugs that are eating the leaves, the greenery. Yeah, now but the zitgeo, that ladybug. So if you find it in your house, you'll find little bugs on your plants.
So leave them alone then.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Then they're eating those other mites. They call them mites on the plants. And that's you in opposite on that up in that bug. That's
Yeah, there's an invasive
Penny
species
in the
now
dose.
too, eh?
Huh?
The Japanese one, that's what they call
That's
it.
another one. That's it. He's
They
new.
brought them here for something. I don't know, it was to get rid of another bug. That's what they let those Asian ones go, and they bite.
Yeah, kung get up, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of different color too, aren't they?
Yeah, they're orange.
Yeah, we're not red.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to turn that around.
What they called, right? Hey, Asian bugs.
Asian bug.
Yeah, they brought them here to get rid of another bug, and then, but then they're really multiplying it, they bite.
Yeah, I remember. couple of, well, many years ago, when we had that infestation of, the, the ones that buried their nests
Yeah.
on the trees, and that's what the, yeah, pet caterpillars. I know the MNR, they had planes going by with a whole bunch of flies in it, not the house fly, but one of those huge fly. I think it was I don't think it was a horse fly either, but they were huge.
Georgie.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
They would go into those nests, I guess, and I don't know what they've done there. I guess maybe
They will go out vital.
Cowabunga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know we used to burn them down, eh? Cut
Yeah.
the branches and so burn them. Eh?
Yeah. Because they killed a tree, eh? 'Cause
Yeah.
that would be just bare.
Yeah. More thick, more thick or something like that. On that, it's a cherry tree, the folk cherry. You'll see that little ball on there. He's eating out the one.
We seen a big bug. We don't even know what it's called. Looks like a wasp, black and orange. I don't know if you guys seen it as well. And it has it's about 3 inches long. It looked like a wasp. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. What happened? I don't know. Did you guys hear me? Oh, what's going on?
So I'm trying the other one now. Can you try talking again?
Yeah, we seen that. I don't even know what we call it. We're trying to think of a name for it, but it looked like a wasp, but black and kind of like orangey red, but it was like 3 inches long.
Oh. Tremendous. Mhm.
I'm like, is it a killer bee or something?
Murder hornet?
That's a bee that's out there.
The murder hornet?
Yeah,
Is that what they?
the Asian hornet.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's supposed to be.
That
pretty
was that
deadly,
red squirrel. Oh, it was coming after us. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that?
Oh, I saw that. Holy, those things are-
Hmm.
they got copper teeth.
Really?
It's real copper. They're little, I seen that video.
By
That
one.
looked pretty freaky.
Look,
Yeah, it just looked like a worm. Mm. And then when you, he was kind of prompting the one end of the worm, and
okay.
then a whole nother something came out, and he said, oh, here comes the head. So it pulls in,
Oh,
but when it's threatened, I guess, it comes out, it looked weird. It came out.
Like
And
alien.
then, yeah, like an alien. And
Yeah.
then you seen the mouth, and it had four tiny little teeth. But they said those teeth are made of the same thing that copper is made out of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that was weird. And then when it was not threatened anymore, then it sucked back into the inside its body. Yeah.
Yeah,
They must come, all these bugs that we haven't seen or insects we haven't seen, they must come through imported food, eh? I'm
Betcha.
thinking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
saving the stink bug. I don't know where they come from.
Mm.
It's a little bug. If you touch it, it sprays off something and it really stinks. So I just called it the stink bug. And when I asked environmental health, he said it was just a cinch bug. I said, well, how do you get rid of them? Because they come in your house and if they spray, it really stinks and hard to get rid of. I just called it the stink bug.
Mhm.
They're usually around in the fall time. They come out.
Gotta go for someplace warm.
They're on the berries. You know, find them there. Sometimes on the The mulberries, you pick.
They must like that sweet.
Yeah. And then the odd one, if you eat that berry, you can taste them on there.
Oh, let's go in your
Kiss
mouth.
them all. Because of that, the global warming isn't cutting, especially up in northern areas. There are some things that, like, an ice age, they got froze, and some of these Russia, they come alive because of the change in weather.
They're thawing,
Yeah, when the thermofrost leaves, these bugs, they come alive. It's like that one elephant they found.
eh?
Oh, that baby, mammoth.
Yeah. It was look real preserved.
That's around here, eh? That was around, what's that? They found a baby mammoth,
Oh, really?
yeah, the skeletal
Okay.
near here, like when I don't know if it was Tara or
That was
somewhere.
a few years ago.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, yeah.
because they do have a sign. No, the baby mammoth. Yeah, well, they found the whole, yeah, so I don't know if it was Tara, but they do have a sign outside their town. I forget which town, but it's nearby.
Oh.
And they, something about baby mammoth, something. Did he fart? Oh.
Things going on behind the scenes here. You guys didn't see it. Oh, I have to wash my glasses now.
Ooh,
Anyway,
caterpillar. Moi, Big West Silver. Moi, Big West Silver.
yeah, well, they eat the leaves, eh? The always nut. You can see it in the first part of that word.
Moi,
Yeah,
Big West. Big West.
Yeah.
Big West. So it's Big West. Big West. That sounds familiar. Big West. Big West. It sounds like a sound. Big West and Big West.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You can hear him when he's you can hear him. There's dentures.
Can you? Yeah, I think you can hear him.
Yeah, if you sit close.
Close enough, you can hear it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Oh.
eating on that leaf.
But I like the sound of this was pine beetles, when they're eating the pine trees, spruce trees, you can actually hear them, right? And you feel that sawdust laying around that.
Oh, well.
That was introduced too, isn't it? Did you bring that book over here?
From BC, I guess because it's changed the weather.
Yeah.
And that's what you go in Washington. Carpenter's Fell.
Oh, they could take a house down, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Carpenter house.
Yeah.
What do you say, carpenter? You a carpenter?
Yeah. Want music to there's another word for that. Oh, it's in there. Unchangeable. You know that.
She's over here laughing. Over so.
You see that?
Come on, Carpenter. And more surprised to see him bring over the hammer. Swear on him.
The bubble.
The bubble. Use his body for a bubble.
Moving up.
Yeah, you give me stories. Tell us a story.
Book story.
Book story. Yeah.
Can you turn the laptop towards her?
Oh, sorry.
Bagida'waad.
What do you call that? The boomer fell.
Bookstore.
What the coco? I got a bug for you. I got a bug for you. When they say if you cause no basic, he's got that long teeth, earwig.
Oh.
Check that out. Yo le viendo red en my token. You don't wow with that. Like this is trying to turn around inside. I guess I don't know. Too much wax inside the ear, but I can hear him. He was stuck in there. I think he was starting to. He was man tomorrow. He was kind of crazy. In my head.
Yeah.
He was trying to get out. I was trying to get Ellen to.
He's in there.
Get home.
I remember a couple of years ago, the girls used to have this, and they wouldn't wash their hair or comb their hair or whatever. They had kind of be like a beehive,
Oh, yeah.
and they were starting to get Gucci shut.
Dog one.
Number one. Bagida'waad.
To change Naga's own. Yeah.
I don't know how these. I remember the fad. These like really back from it, like tease it, then they push it up like it was like a coon.
Lots of hairspray.
Yeah.
Must
Then
be
it
in the
is.
beehive.
Yeah.
People go on South East way. Yeah.
What's that?
No story.
I can't remember.
No, she told the story about the beehive.
Oh, yeah, the beehive.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, me too. Every time somebody mentions, I get really itchy. Yeah. I got a true story about bed bugs. Look at you, yeah, I got a story about that one. I guess they went to this old abandoned house and they brought something in a box and they stuck it under their bed. My goodness, that bed got infested. I was wondering why they were scratching at night, So I went in there, turned the light off, then you could just see them going inside like the creases. So what I did was I took the whole thing apart. I just washed everything, the ceiling, the walls, and the bed. I took the bed outside. I just sprayed it with Raid, and it worked. I got rid of them that way, but it didn't spread. Thank goodness. Oh goodness, I don't know what I would have done if it would have spread out throughout the house. Yeah, they go and hide. They just-
What's the cockroach?
That's what I was just thinking.
Oh, goodness, mother.
Beware of garage sales.
Yeah.
We bought a alarm clock radio when they were in back in the day. Brought it home. Oh, we brought it home. And then working in the kitchen. I had it in the kitchen. I had it plugged in on the kitchen counter. Nakian wala wijibak ko yan. Uyagi wabma. The heck was that? You end up go back to work again. Next day. That's what Jim said. He said, I seen something in the kitchen corner. Fast. So then here we found out that Dornell clock had been infested with cockroaches. German browns, they were called. We had to call in exterminator, get rid of those things. So he said, never bring anything home from garage sales again.
And it was when Locos was there and Sound Locos and Towers, I think was across. Anyway, in Locos, I was in their shop and I was coming out and I was wondering why everybody was pointing, look, and there was a great big cockroach. It looked like a turtle. It's big. That's how big that darn thing was. And I asked that man, I said, what is that? He said, it's a cockroach. Oh my goodness, it looked like a huge turtle. And then it was going to the bank, that water that flows by
Oh,
there.
yeah.
That's where it was heading.
Was he going fast or slow?
He was going slow. Nobody dared go near it. Anything. But I remember how huge it was. It was like a big turtle.
Oh, man.
Cockroach. That's what he said it was. It was really huge. They should have put it in a box and put it in for Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah.
I mean, that was huge. Never seen it. Yeah, Believe It or Not.
You didn't try to get a big stick.
Yeah.
Big
They don't- Nobody went near it, so they were all scared of it because the size of it. Yeah. Miraculous. I don't know if they bite or not. I don't think so.
I don't know.
They do. They do. Ooh,
They fly too.
They fly?
Yeah.
Cockroaches?
Ryan told me a story about
Is
a
it?
cockroach that maybe a little bit bigger. He said that, I forget how many rounds of, cause they shot at it, the guys,
The Marines?
cause it was crawling across the, parking lot with a big ham. And, yeah, they were freaked out on how, it was huge, huge cockroach. And several rounds to kill it.
Stole a hand.
That's all.
That's ours. Yeah.
Tina, that could come up with any stories they got, who they want to share from up there.
You got any bug stories? You know. Okay.
Oh,
No, just not me.
The story goes, this little boy, he was being raised by his grandparents because something must have happened to his parents. The story never really talked about his parents, just his grandparents. But every day the little boy would get up really early, just as the sun is rising, right? Grandparents would be saying prayers, and off he'd go, and they'd tell him, give him a bunch of warnings, right? Like what grandparents usually do, or a parent does. Anyways, this little boy, he heard those warnings every single morning, right? Don't wander too far, stay close. If you miss supper or lunch, then it's your fault. You're gonna have to wait till the next day. Anyways, this little boy went running off into the bush, and he knew he had messed up because he was out in the bush exploring, doing what little boys do, right? Looking at everything and monkeying around in the trees. The sun was at halfway point, right directly up on top. And he thought, oh no, I'm in trouble now. And missed lunch. I'm gonna have to wait for supper, so I better start making my way back. Anyways, as he started to walk, he came to a clearing. And he could hear this high-pitched whistle, right? And he stopped and he was looking around where that sound was coming from. So he could see from off to his right-hand side that the trees were parting and shaking. And he was thinking, what is that? Is that a bear? He was trying to think of an animal big enough to move those big trees. And he stood there long enough for that thing to finally come to a stop, but he still couldn't see it, but he stopped whistling. And all of a sudden the trees parted, and this big woman, she was covered in a shawl or a blanket or a hoodie or whatever you call those long cape thing, yeah. And she goes, hello, little boy. And she had a really sweet, soft voice, and he knew it was a female because it had a female voice. And he didn't say nothing because his grandparents always told him, don't be stopping talking to strange beings. This happened to be a strange being because it was very tall and very skinny. But she had a smell to her too. But he didn't say anything, right? He just stood there just observing. And she goes, "Oh, you must be really hungry." So she reached in the back and she had this basket on her back and she grabbed a whole something. She came out and she had a bunch of berries in her hand. So she said, "Go ahead, take some." Really kind, gentle voice to him, right? So of course he took his little pudgy little hand and he reached in to grab those berries because he was hungry. And she closed her hand over it because her hand apparently had like an ashy and it was very thin, long fingers. But when she closed her hand, he couldn't pull away because of how big the hand was and how strong she was. And just as she closed her hand over his fist, she spit this sap stuff over his eyes so he couldn't see. And then she picked him up and flung him into the basket that she had on her back. And he couldn't see, but he could hear whimpering. And he started to feel around. He could feel other children in that basket. And then she started to pick up again, start running. And as she's running, she's whistling, right? Whistling, going through the bush. And he was sitting there long enough to start to reflect, right? Oh no, my grandparents always warned me about this. So just going through and replaying all the warnings and whatnot. And then she came to a stop. Whistling stopped, high pitched whistling stopped. And then she threw that basket down and all those children come flying out, rolling out, right? And so they're feeling around on the ground, trying to get close to each other. And they could hear her running around and throwing sticks, what they could hear, right? Cracking and then the next thing they could feel the heat of that fire. And that little boy, he started to reflect on his life and how short his life was and how this might make his grandparents feel. So he got so close to that fire that that sap on his eyes started to melt away. And he could start to see, and he could see her running around, and she moved very, very fast. She was throwing the sticks into that big bonfire that she was making to cook them. And that's what he's saying, that she was going to cook them. Because all the stories that his grandparents told us, she was a Wendigo. So he stepped back and he pretended that he couldn't see. He's feeling around, trying to act like he couldn't see. He grabbed a hold of the next child and he moved close enough. And he told that child to get close to the fire, but not to let her know that they could see after the sap melted away from their eyes. So each child, you'd see him step up towards that fire and sap start to melt away from their eyes. And then they got huddled real close and they started to talk to each other, whisper, right? And that's what they said, if she gets close enough to the fire, if she has to stoke it like how our grandparents do it and how our mothers and fathers do it, we'll push her in. Because they knew that from the stories of the Wendigo, that it takes a special kind of being to kill Wendigo. So these children kind of collaborate all the stories that they knew about Wendigos. So they said, okay, if we work together, we can defeat her. So sure enough, she went up to that fire and started to stoke it to make sure that it was hot enough. Started to spread the coals so it get really hot. They all ran up, pushed her in. So she didn't die like how normal things die. As she fell into the fire, sparks started to fly. And then as those sparks started to fly, they started to buzz around because she didn't really die. She just broke up into billions of little insects, and those insects are mosquitoes today. That's how that started. That's how where mosquitoes come from. That's where mosquitoes always have big thumbs. I know I told that story, but that's what I can remember.
Tina, you guys get any stories, like animal stories, anything like that up north? We did on Linda, doesn't it?
Oh, they're still there. Yeah.
Not offhand, but we can get one for next week.
Aha. Gawabi Tunsa.
Uh-huh.
Lindsay had a question. Wondered if you have little people and how to say it.
Payasa.
Pias.
Payasa.
There's Piasek, and then there was another one that I heard. But I think that's how they say it down south, though. I just can't remember. They say it a little different, but it's a Piasek. How they say it around here? Piasek. Did you get that? You know them now? Yeah. No.
How do you write it? How do you write it?
Kaya Kanzini Jibigayan.
GPK?
I don't know how to write or
Me neither.
How to spell it?
spell
Yeah,
it.
spell it. Pi-
I think it's just
yeah.
PIE
E-R-E.
A
P-I-P-A-A, pi. Maybe pi, yeah. Maybe P-I-Y, pi, yeah.
oh yeah, right?
P-I-Y.
A
No, because that makes it aw sound.
oh yeah.
P, pi, yeah. E, pi, yeah. I'm trying to get that E-H, pi, yeah, pi, yeah. And then S-A-A-K, because suck,
Yeah.
S-A-K, S-A-K.
Me, Gwedge.
Or you can just say what he said is Nishnabesa.
Nishnabesa?
Nishnabesa.
Nishnabesa.
Yeah. Nishnabesa. The small ones.
Maybe like that.
You got called one say look don't suck McCain. Snugzo. Almost like a need to do something. Snugzo. Or the best of me, I ma. There's a dark squatting right across your face here somewhere. You can there's not a square. We'd go, get close right. Nicking shop. Make it watch in Taxman. You can't the money out. Did you got for Nicking? The most suck. Yeah. Bent over. You'll see them here about every 10, 15 feet apart. So if you hit one of them branches, they'll give you a good slap. And that's when they tell you, go around.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I know
happened.
that.
That's happened to me. That's happened to me. Got a few slaps by the tree.
Na pitchen go ni sis bak nosen gra tonen o de. Mi go to kwab begin go. Come on, watch up. Yeah, na pitchen.
Tiny things too, eh? Tiny things.
Yeah. So we here, sis bak nosen book or fruit. Fruit. They like fruit. Not familiar. Yeah, there's all kinds of stories about those little guys. Like, don't let the young ones play alone. Don't let them, the young ones go over there alone. And then never see them again. Maybe when they get older, you'll see them. But that's what they do. They miss our way of life. Stave saksnagi gachimo. Mishene wani wam damakia. Ashnagi mamike chim dijikinat zawat. And then watia.
They live a long time too. if you see.
Chickabangan, come on, this home with all you.
Yeah, really? Kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah, mom. And there's about
Wait a
14 of
minute.
them.
Wait a minute, yeah.
Marshall. Yeah, Mark. Meojaban. He caught margin, Benojinum. Muscat magazine, Wasayabe. He caught margin, Audra at that time. He's went out, I don't know, stock car races that time, I think it was. And Gio and Ba in that one bedroom, the middle bedroom. You know, where the old schoolhouse is in the village. You know, to give us Gio. They were kind of like bright. It was like a bright green around them. Keep it off to sale for a window up, mom, or that geek it okay. And there were you were the end that keep us all in that or the key moves up again you or the we have been a big geek it okay. Piece of top or Papa you on the wall. You can't done yeah in my you could see these eggs. You didn't put over into the kitchen. I went and got mom. I said, "Oh, we over there, cuisine, Mitchell. I don't know. I got you. Zig Nogs up and give me the one. They didn't look very nice looking, scary looking. I said, "Oh, guys, you know, can we the mark anyway? You asked them, please, so I said, all right. We just need you knock, with the good, chemos up. You just get them out, you say what, you can, they must say what, or the, you're the end, I ain't give you a Guinness shot. So, over at that house. What are you beat the girl? I just keep pausing while we end up. You just keep his club, say what, you just not keep scabby oak. You'll get it coming up, with them. You can be Nisaki behind that that old schoolhouse or church that was over there. That's where the what do you call that Service Ontario is right now. In there, or could be where the Joanne's place might be where the house. That's where that schoolhouse was anyway.
The village school.
Yeah, Gibazagi out there, and it was real bright green all around them. When I went to the treatment center, I went to go see that guy because something was going on over here. And I got a phone call when I was over there, and they said, "There's something going on over here. You better get home." And I said, "No." So I was, they were all scared, and then I went to go see one of the directors that were there. He says, "Oh, come on back tomorrow and bring some salmon with you." And I said, "Oh, okay." I'm down here and I'm looking at my salmon, and oh, geez. I see bears. And I said, "Hey, are you lucky?" I said, "What do you mean lucky?" I guess. I don't know. He says, "Do you ever see the lights at night?" I said, "Yeah." "Fireflies?" He says, "No, there's other lights you'll see them bouncing around or whatever." I said, "Yeah, I see those." "Oh, okay. What about those other guys?" "Payasak." He said, do you ever see those?" He says, "Oh." I said, "Yeah." "Okay, you're going to be lucky." He says, "You're lucky.
you'd be one of the lucky ones that be able to see those payasaka. I said, oh, okay. Do you ever use that luck? I said, no, I just, I don't know. I just, things just happen. I just accept it. I don't ask for it. It just happens. And I said, oh, those little payasaka are helping you pieces. So I just let it be. I just, I guess being thankful that I got to see them. Because they're out around behind the ball line, where the ball line used to be. There were some other kids that saw the little people around there also. There were 3 of these young boys that saw them. They got scared themselves and they ran. They went running themselves when they saw them. But like Ron had said, that you see that little lodges in the bush sometimes. I've seen those things itself. So I just say, oh, okay, well, meet with me, why I you know, thank you for being here. Or you'll see the little things close to the ground on birch trees or yellow birch. You'll see a big, I don't know what you call them, but it's like a little cover. That's where they go and rest underneath those things too. Yeah, sit underneath them.
Yeah, elders have talked about locations.
Mhm.
My mother, when she was just a young girl, she was telling us this story. She said that early in the morning, she could hear.
You turn the computer? Sorry, we can't hear Marie.
I'm sorry.
I was listening, so I lost
My mother told us the story. When she was growing up, she must have been only about 3 or 4 years old. And she was sleeping upstairs with her mom, herself, and her brother. And her father was across from them, I guess, on another bed. And she said she heard this laughing and giggling. And she looked over at my grandfather because he had a kind of long beard. And there's a whole lot of little people, she said, Anishinaabemowin, she said, all over his face, like that, grandpa's face. Anyway, she said that they were laughing. Her brother woke up too and he heard them, seen them. So they were all laughing and that, what you call at them, and because they were just sliding down his beard. And just that story she told us, and she said, her mom, Ma, my grandma, because they were all laughing and because it was so, or just the sun was coming up, I guess, but they were sliding down my grandfather's beard, and they jumped down and just keep coming, playing on this beard, I guess, and it's like sliding down, I guess. She said that her mom get to sleep, it's not ready to get up yet. So they just covered their heads like this. And she said when they peeked out, they were gone. In the language or something because of her mom was upset with them, for laughing. Or playing. She thought they were playing. They were laughing at this little people. Yeah. Well, she had shared that story with us, eh? And then a couple, my grandson, they're out in the field by where I used to live, where used to be a field there. That's before Sharon moved there on that side. There's a subdivision there. No, there was no houses. There was just a field there. Eh? The kids were out there playing, and one of those children that come running up to me and said, "Grandma, guess what we've seen back there? We've seen a lot of little people." And the oldest boy said, "You were not supposed to say anything." She was saying he was getting angry with them, eh? Because they had seen these people. That's not the only time they seen them. Another time was where Beetlejuice lived. There's no tree there. That's before the Beatles house was there. It was just a trunk, tree that was going to fall over. It's dead. But inside there was a hollow, and you could see all these little people in there. They were just running out, having like they're playing, I guess, but they're all coming out like that's like a water, and like there's so many of them. So it's right there are around that area. He lived there.
Just to verify, Beetlejuice is his nickname.
What?
Beetlejuice is his nickname.
Reynolds?
Yeah. it's
Oh,
Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're little people.
Oh, okay.
That's what they call them up, sewering.
Mm.
Yeah, just kind of, they're the ones that brush around along the creeks when you'll see the leaves into the water, right? You know they're there. Usually these leaves are up, just above the water. So when you know they're there, and the leaves are in the water, grass.
Just now, okay.
Ja, we jsme bij ook. We zijn gisteren. Ja. Als je al nu gaat. Correct. Nee. Ja. Wat ben je aan? Next week, what we go? Go. Find some more stories to tell. Wat ben je aan? Is there any questions?
Any questions?
Tina and Lindsay said, miigwech, awesome night. I had one little question. One time, since we're talking about mosquitoes, Ron, I think one time you told me that the name for Gima is similar, like it kind of has a bit of the story of the mosquito in it. Like that it relates somehow that when you're a chief, that it's like mosquitoes are coming after you.
Have you the arrows in the back?
I just, whenever I hear someone say like Ogama or something like that, I think of mosquitoes now. So I just wonder, I don't remember the story properly though.
Well, think about it. Next week, go in the morning.
Okay, sounds good. There are no more questions though. So Bamapi, everyone. Miigwech.
I'm up here.
Hope everyone has a good night. Bye-bye.